everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16e and compare it against the iPhone 12 mini and see how these two phones kind of compare against each other. Now, number one, the big thing to keep in mind here is that there are some advantages for an iPhone 16e, but there are also some advantages for an iPhone 12 mini. Like, it is actually kind of crazy how both these phones are going to kind of compare in and of itself. Now, number one, the big thing to keep in mind here, right, is if you want to go ahead and pick up either one of these phones throughout this whole entire video, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones. The iPhone 12 mini, which has been out for a couple of years now for the most part, on the front side of this particular phone is going to be giving you a 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now, the thing with the iPhone 12 mini you're going to have to remember is that this type of device, for the most part, this is one of those types of phones that, if I'm going to go through and pick up a phone, for a lot of people, they loved having a smaller size device. And I definitely did like that type of capability, and I thought that was a really cool thing going on for this type of phone. It came out in 2020, so it's going to be approaching 5 years old this year. And I do think if you are going to go through and pick up a phone, this is a really cool type of layout to have, right? It's not perfect, but it is a really, really good looking device for the most part. And I do think this is a super cool thing to kind of think about, that it's a smaller phone. It's going to hold up fairly well for the most part too. And that's just one of those things to kind of think about here. With the iPhone 16e, on the other hand, this is a different type of phone. So this one is going to be giving you essentially a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it's going to be slightly bigger than the iPhone 12 mini, but there's also some, similarity here when it kind of comes down to it too, which in and of itself, once again, is kind of a crazy thing. So for starters, the iPhone 16e is essentially going to be giving you a 60 Hz display just like the iPhone 12 mini. The reason why this is kind of crazy is because the iPhone 16e has been out for it just came out. So you would imagine that that type of device would be giving you a little bit more capability when it kind of comes down to it, right? But that's not quite the case. So that was already kind of an interesting thing to kind of keep in mind there too. But on top of that, when it kind of comes down to some other areas, like both these phones have notches, both these phones kind of look the same, they have the same type of design language. It just so happens that the iPhone 12 mini is just, a smaller one when it comes down to it. The 12 mini has a lightning port at the bottom, the 16e has USB Type-C, so the 16e is definitely going to be far better there when it kind of comes down to it. On the back sides, you're getting a standard glass back on the back side of the iPhone 12 mini, with the iPhone 16e is going to be giving you that frosted glass back. So that right there is also going to be a pretty big advantage for the iPhone 16e. It's going to feel that much more premium, but you're getting a single camera setup on the iPhone 16e, where you're getting a dual camera setup on the iPhone 12 mini. So that right there is also another interesting kind of experience to experience there too. You're going to be able to go through buy a phone on the 12 mini, but it's going to be giving you a little bit of a different type of experience because maybe it doesn't feel as good. But the iPhone 12 mini is also giving you MagSafe capability, where the iPhone 16e is not giving you any sort of MagSafe. So it is a really weird amount of flip-flopping here. Sometimes the iPhone 12 mini is better, sometimes the 16e is better, but when you look at the outside, I think I'd rather have a 16e. But definitely when it comes down to the design, you could not even imagine that this was 5 years difference. It looks like it's probably these phones could have been released the same year, to be honest. Now, when it comes down to the price tag, the iPhone 16e right now is costing about $600 brand new, where the iPhone 12 mini, you can't really go through and buy this phone brand new anymore. So you have to kind of, just wait out for this phone to, become available in the used market, that's kind of what it is. So I think that's kind of okay. I think most people probably have already bought a 12 mini if they're looking at buying one anyway. But the thing with both these phones, right, is that when you're looking at something like an iPhone 12 mini, this is a phone that's going to be substantially cheaper. It's also going to come out in more colors as well, which that in and of itself is kind of interesting. So from that side in and of itself, I think that kind of covers it up there for the most part. Now, when it comes down to the cameras, the iPhone 16e is going to be giving you this 2-in-1 camera system experience. It's going to be pretty solid for the most part, right? But the 12 mini is giving you this dual camera setup. So that is in and of itself going to be a very interesting takeaway here too. Because with the 12 mini, you're getting that wide and you're getting that ultra wide camera. But the zooming out is better on the 12 mini because you have that 0.5x lens. So you can zoom out 0.5x. But with the iPhone 16e, you can zoom in 2x. So you can zoom in twice as much on the iPhone 16e, but you do have that ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 12 mini. So that is in and of itself a really nice thing to kind of think about there on the iPhone 12 mini. Just having that type of capability in and of itself, I think is a really cool thing. And I do think this is in and of itself a really big takeaway here with that type of phone. So from that side too, I would say that kind of covers it up there for the most part. But when it comes down to their software longevity, this is another interesting thing. The iPhone 16e is pretty much going to be the one that's probably going to be lasting much longer than the iPhone 12 mini. The 12 mini is going to be one of those iPhones that is still supported with software. It's probably still going to be here for like another little bit of time. But once again, if you're wanting the phone that's going to be lasting for a much longer period of time, it's going to be the iPhone 16e without a doubt. The 16e is going to be one of those phones that you can basically buy today, and it's just getting started with software. So I think that is one of the biggest takeaways. Whereas on the iPhone 12 mini, like I said, I don't really know how much longer this phone's going to last. It's definitely going to last another 2 years, but we're comparing a phone that's going to be supported for 2 more years versus a phone that's going to be supported for like 7 more years or so. So I think that in and of itself, again, is just another one of those super crazy things to kind of keep in mind there too. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there as well. Now on top of that, when it comes down to the battery life, this was always one of the worst aspects for the iPhone 12 mini. So with the 12 mini, you were basically getting this 15 hours of video playback based on Apple's website. With the iPhone 16e, you were getting 26 hours of video playback. The 12 mini, it had a lot of strong suits. The battery life just really wasn't one of them. So that was essentially one of the issues that you were experiencing with the iPhone 12 mini, that type of device really just wasn't giving you that good of an experience when it came down to the battery life. But the iPhone 16e did much better here. And finally, when it kind of down to their performance, the iPhone 16e is giving you the Apple A18 chip with 8 gigs of RAM, where the iPhone 12 mini was giving you the Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So definitely, when it comes down to the performance side of these phones, you're definitely going to be getting a much better, faster performing device on the iPhone 12 mini than on the iPhone 16. The iPhone 16e is going to be faster than the iPhone 12 mini. So you're getting like twice the amount of RAM, you're getting a way better chipset. Basically every single thing you can kind of imagine being better on the iPhone 12 mini, it's just going to be substantially faster, substantially better on the iPhone 16. So that's just kind of the way it goes. Totally understandable, and that's as it should be, So app opening speeds, gameplay, anything you can think about in between, that is definitely going to be a much faster phone on the iPhone 16e than on the iPhone 12 mini. So definitely, without a doubt, when I'm looking at these types of phones, the iPhone 16e is a substantially better device here. It's a better device in terms of battery, in terms of build quality, in terms of camera, in terms of performance and Apple Intelligence and all those cool things, and software longevity. That's going to be the phone that I would recommend buying more so. But with that being said, it would also make a lot of sense to go ahead and not even buy an iPhone 16e. If you're going from an iPhone 12 mini, I would highly recommend buying something like an iPhone 15 Pro or one of those types of phones, right? I genuinely do think that is probably the better idea here. That phone would give you much better experience, to give you much better layout, and that would kind of be the one that I would recommend more people to buy rather than an iPhone 16e or 12 mini. So I think both these phones were great and are great, but I definitely do think the last year Pros or 2 year ago Pros would probably be better devices overall than the iPhone 16e. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.